I was speaking that you're so wonderful, but and that you take really good notes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So you know that wasn't really a sentence, a declarative sentence. What was it? It's probably a question.
I assumed so.
Because you know me. Oh. Well, I just wanted to tell you guys thank you too while we're waiting for everybody else to get on here that I thought the meeting on Wednesday was so productive and so exciting. I think it inspired our folks here in marketing and everywhere else. And
that's great.
You have to know, and we will share more about this, that we had been that morning on a conference call where we heard about our data and who is continuing and who doesn't continue and why, and no why, is just the data. And for most of us, it was a very sobering time. And I think I knew it all along, but it's different when you see it up there and it's still like you saw it 10 years ago. And so I really think that we are really going to take every muscle and breath we have to make that data get better this next year. And we're in a time when that's not going to be an easy thing because, you guys have probably followed everything. And I get all these, Mary, you're on here to speak out. We get a lot of stuff from higher ed and what's happening in the country. And it is not a good time for a lot of our students. Not only are they dealing with mental health issues because of these things, but they're also going, I won't say going backward, but some of us, there are high school kids coming in here. I worry about them being ready to do what they need to do here. We always know that it's hard. But, in a lot of ways, this next couple of semesters are going to be a lot harder on a lot of students. What do you think, Emily? Either one of you.
I will say that I've been bragging on y'all all day. So I've been in a ton of back-to-back meetings like many of you all have been. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. I have hope. I do. I think part of that's just genetic, though, because I'll have hope if the house is burning down, honestly. But it feels really legitimate and valid, and I'm not trying to find it. I just feel it, and it's y'all. So thank you for letting me be part of this.
Well, you guys are amazing, and I think we're going to try to capitalize, and we'll talk more about this after we get finished with the SGA part. But I will tell you straight on that I did put some money for student stipends, and Amanda went ahead and I sent it to Amanda. She'd already put it in there for me. So anyway, I feel so sure. I better not say that, but I feel pretty certain that we're gonna be able to offer some stipends for some of you guys that want to do this work. Because, this is a time when I know every ounce of energy y'all have is should be going to your classes and your own families and that kind of thing. And so if we can sweeten the pot a little bit, we need to do just that. It's not fair for us to expect you to work like we do and not get compensated, because I assure you that I don't go home without a paycheck every month. And so, we're going to have to do something for y'all too. Salon, I think you get the Good Hair Day of the Week award. Salon's got a haircut.
I got a haircut, but I didn't do my hair. I'm kind of.
Well, I think
I want to hide.
But Chris has inspired me to watch hair now, because he was just so funny about that. And look, there's Dee, and Dee always has good hair.
Deidre got a haircut too.
Did you, Deidre?
You're muted.
Yeah, I cut it. I cut about 24 inches off.
Wow. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started because I love that. Because I know Diedrich's got other things that he has to do, And so I want to make sure we're good with this time. But I'm going to share a screen that'll have the agenda with it. And the first part of it is just the regular stuff that we do in SGA meetings, and then we'll take it from there and do these other more fun things, or I don't want to say more fun things, but the things that are we're really going to be committed to in the next month or two. So let's see. Okay, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all see the agenda? All right, the first thing that I put on there is the student cabinet meeting. I think when we talked last week, we really talked about some dates, and we found out that some of the dates that we had interfered with Black History Month, and we don't want to do that. And so that's why I'm really glad Diedrich's here so that we won't step over anything he's done. We had, I think the last date we talked about was the Wednesday before spring break, which was, and we wanted it on Friday, but the Fridays just didn't seem to work for close up, but it was it Wednesday the 5th? No, today's the 5th.
Wednesday is the 3rd.
Well, Wednesday's March 3rd, yeah.
Hey,
What do you guys-
Deidre and Salon, what do you guys have on your calendar for February the 19th?
I don't believe we have anything. That's a Friday.
Deidre, what about you? Do you have something?
No, that's a Friday. No.
I won't be here that week. No, I won't be here that day, but you know, y'all can do it without me. Absolutely.
No, I just tried to find a Friday that might be open. And that's the only one I can find.
Yeah. And that's the only one that I can't do. Well, and the other thing that I was hoping maybe, you know, I really would like to have it quickly, but I also am thinking, and you guys speak back to this, because you know what, the things that we've been talking about, it would be really nice to have some of those things start going on. So I don't know, I think sometimes success breeds more success, and that, you know, maybe if we had a few things to bring forth in that meeting, that might further our work a little bit faster. Y'all jump on there and speak up, and I'm going to mute for a minute, but I think everybody else, let's see what happens if we all put our mics on and be able to speak frequently.
I mean, I definitely think if we could get it done sooner, the better. But also, if we wait a little bit until March, like we might have gotten our footing down a little bit more on the other things that we're working on. You know what I mean? It's kind of double-edged if we want to push it to just try to get the ball rolling, or give ourselves time to kind of get it all put together, like what we would be able to talk about.
Emily, I see both sides of it. I feel like I'm with you, though I personally am kind of a steamroller, just go ahead and get it done person. So I don't know, would it be something that we could pair off, put together presentations and decide to present those at the next meeting, if that's what we're going to roll with? Is that something anyone wants to do? Or other ideals?
Okay, what am I on? Let's see. What do you guys think? 19th or the 5th?
Are we doing the 3rd or the 5th?
Third.
I think the 3rd's a good date. I do. But it's up to everybody else too.
Can we just, for a moment, make sure we're all on the same page? What exactly is going to happen at this is this a big SGA meeting where we will have our people who want to do like a coffee talk, like Zinnia may do something and Keely may do something. And, yeah, okay, so just wanted to make sure because I think Zinnia wasn't at the last meeting. So I wanted to just make sure we were all, this is a big one, right? Where students will come and will this be live streamed? Students will come, they'll watch, they'll be able to ask questions.
Right.
Okay.
What? Sandy, what? I mean, like I said, I'm really not in on that a lot of times when what goes on in the SGA meetings, except for like the student activities portion. But I think a lot of it would be determined who all we want in the room if they are available on those days. Being if we're going to have, I know sometimes in the SGA cabinet meetings, we have upper administration there. Would those days work for them? I think that may kind of determine what's a good day or not, depending on if you, I know sometimes you guys have Tammy in the room, sometimes you have Jeff in the room. Those people like that, they're supposed to be there. I think that'll help determine the date.
You're right, Diedrich, but probably those are about the only 2 dates we could have done it. So I will go back and ask them. We've had several of them in meetings with us all along, and I do think that they will continue. But whenever we choose it, then we'll see who can be there, and if we can't, we'll kind of survey, and if we can't do it that day, then we'll try to go backwards. But there's a lot of things on here that will appeal to a lot of people, and so I think either date would be fine for that.
But see, you just said you're not going to be able to be there, and
I know I'm not on the 19th, but
so are we just going to go with the 3rd then?
well, but I don't have to be there. You guys are going to be you guys are awesome. But if I had my preference, I would say the 3rd because I want to watch you guys fly. But
so why don't we just go ahead and check and see if everybody's available to meet on the 3rd, and
I'm for that.
And it'll give us time to reach out to some of the clubs and organizations to see if they want to say anything.
Okay. Do we want to do it at 12 o'clock still?
I think that's a good time to do anything like that because it's, standardized lunchtime. So I think it would be.
Okay. And I've got on here, I'm just going to go down my list. Moderator. Does anybody think of somebody that could moderate it? Whoever is the moderator will work with and get you guys up to speed. We had Will for a while, who was our parliamentarian, so he already, kind of fit that bill. But if anybody's wanting to think about that, and we'll work with you, right, Mary?
Yep.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Was that Xenia?
I'll do it.
All right, did you get her name, Mary?
Okay. Xenia, Shalon, do we have her email address?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, Xenia, I will, excuse me. We will connect with you.
Okay.
We'll send you an email, and then maybe we can do a WebEx meeting so we can just kind of go through how meetings have gone in the past.
Yes, ma'am.
And then answer any questions you have. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
This is going to be a tricky SGA meeting or cabinet meeting. We need to do like we are today, get a lot of things done and get it done explicitly, completely, but efficiently. So what I'm saying is we're going to have to say a lot in a little and get it moving, because what I really want to do is save the bulk of the time for you guys to show off your stuff. Because I think by that time we can have some things ready and in place, right? Okay, and we know who will invite to the student cabinet meeting. And Diedrich, you and I were talking a little bit, Mary. We've talked about this before. We know that Tammy might have put the stops on it, but you guys talked about, even on last Wednesday, we talked about if we feed them, they'll come, and it's kind of fun to have that. So my only thing was maybe have something like a Dunkin' Donuts or something that you can get a coffee and a donut. I mean, we couldn't buy lunch for everybody, but everybody that came in could get a small, like a $5 gift certificate to something. What do you guys think about that? And that would come out of SGA money. So y'all be careful about whether you want to say that, because I could see it costing, maybe $500. No.
$500 is what we would normally spend, and then some if we were actually having a cabinet meeting. So I don't,
Yeah, I thought that was pretty efficient too. SGA folks, what do you say? Y'all are all now SGA folks, so just so you know.
Hey, Deidre, what is the process for getting, Deidre, what is the process for getting, what is Tammy saying about the cards, getting,
I'm saying that I know if you use a gift card, it has to be directed to the student's email. That's the only way that I'm doing them right now. That I'm ordering through Amazon, and it's getting sent directly to the student. So I don't really know how you're gonna do it that way. I mean, it's a great idea, unless she may do something different for you all. But I know for me, I'm doing mine strictly, and I'm using their Chattanooga State email. So if it tracks back,
to send the gift card to.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, Sandy, we may have to do do it after the meeting, but have it prepared and ready to send after the meeting.
Yeah, I think we can do that. We just have to work it out with those corporations. I know I've sent Starbucks to Vancouver, and one time I sent a Starbucks to our board attorney because I really was on his bad side, and so I sent a Starbucks gift card. It made all the difference.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Xenia, right? Is that right, Xenia? Am I saying it correctly?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay. So Xenia, maybe we can get together, and I can get with Tammy Swenson and find out what her yay or nay is going to be on that. And if she, I've never done this before, so I'm asking Dee and Shalon. So if she says yes, Diedrich, how are we paying? Are we paying up front or paying after, or?
Just the way I've done it is just pay with the school credit card and have to go through Christy Ferris and have her to do the purchasing of the gift card. Depending, where you get it from. Because you'll have to look and see what Amazon's offers. As gift cards. We do have gift cards to different locations.
Okay.
So I'm sure Starbucks.
Well, we will.
Starbucks is one of them, but I mean, everybody don't drink Starbucks. I don't guess. But I don't know. They can give it away. Yeah.
Well, I think we can find something. Are you guys good with that?
So Sandy, when they come into the meeting, we could have them, have 3 different gift cards, Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, they can choose. then we could take those all back to Christy and then send them out.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
So are you saying something like they do a sign up, like you put your email address down and then you select what gift cards you want and then that information is accumulated? Is that how y'all are talking?
Yeah, we would have to do some sort of registration form for them. And I believe that's what we did last time for the SGA cabinet meeting. We had one last semester. But they would have to RSVP, and we can customize those questions. But definitely, like, even if they RSVP, they have to have an approved by their name.
Right.
Like, to ensure that they were at the SGA meeting and not just they RSVP.
Right.
But we do have access to that, yeah.
Okay. Is that a yes from everybody?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Anybody have a no?
I do think letting them choose a gift card is going to be difficult, but that's just a note.
Whenever we want, choose.
Yeah, and Deidre, you agree with me? Like, letting them choose a gift card is going to be hard.
But I only think we choose 2 gift cards. You can either have Starbucks or you can have, we don't give them like 40 gift cards to choose from.
Right.
Yeah, you can probably have 2. Like, I think, like Sandy mentioned to me earlier, I think Dunkin' Donut or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so we say Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. Right?
Yeah, I think that would be good because at least somebody can get a donut. Because you give me a Starbucks, I'll throw it back at you.
You can have a Dunkin' Donuts then, Deidre.
I'm with you, Deidre.
What is wrong with y'all? Something's wrong with y'all. I had Starbucks.
Yeah,
Starbucks.
But I think those are 2 great choices. If you can do it like that, I guess you just have to check Amazon to see if they have the $5 gift cards in those locations.
Yeah, sometimes it starts at 10, depending on
that's what I'm
company.
thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And if you did that, I mean, I would say, I mean, depending on how many people you're gonna have there, I mean, I would think that if you would, I mean, it would excite me just to know if I had the chance to win. Let's say if you bought 15 cards, like if you're saying, hey, we got 15 $10 gift cards that we're gonna hand out. Like now, I'm really feeling like I'm getting something. Or if you gave out 10 $25 gift cards, like that's only $250, but I got a 10 in chance, so many chances to win $25. To me, that's a better draw for me more so than just saying, hey, you're gonna give me $5 to go to
That's true.
All right, we'll think about that. We'll bring that to the next meeting. We'll make sure we can do anything first and bring that to the next meeting, okay?
Right, and I know purchasing too. To do all those separate purchases, they're gonna probably have to be all separate purchases to do that many. So I'm just thinking, like, if you had 40 things, you would be occupying Christy Ferris for 40 different purchases.
Yeah.
More so than 10 or 5 purchases. Or 100. If you got 100 of them, then she's got to put in 100 separate purchases.
Well, I get that, Dee, but it might even be that we could do something with one of the vendors here that we could buy that directly from a vendor, not from Amazon, and buy $500 worth of gift cards or something.
Okay. Well,
I mean, that's just, that's a possibility, but we'll work on that. Hey, Deidre, can y'all, I know, Mary, you've been working on Black History Month. Can we go ahead and talk about what's happening for Black History Month?
Are you back, Sandy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Something happened to my machine there for a minute. You were gone.
Oh, I was just going to see if you guys would talk about Black History Month stuff and what we're having going on. It starts next week, right?
Did we finish the conversation on how many gift cards we need? Because that's something that we want to go ahead and move on.
Well, do we have to move on it right now, or can we find out what we can do and how it'll work?
Well, I'm saying you to do it. I mean, we still have to get that 2-week approval in. So I'm thinking the sooner we say what we're gonna do to try to, or how you're gonna do it, you need to probably speak to that to Tammy like now, more so than wait. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Okay.
Got the notes or whatever.
Okay, so should we just approve an amount that we can spend and then go to Tammy and say, how can we get this done, or how we're going to get it done?
Well, as I was saying, if we were having a regular cabinet meeting, we would spend anywhere from $500 to $750 for the food. And maybe depending on what type of meal we have, we might would be going over that amount. So as Deidre was saying, maybe we invite them for lunch and make it a $10 gift card, which is probably a better denomination in terms of getting gift cards than $5.
Yeah, or unless, you know, if Tammy may let you all do a reimbursement. You know what I'm saying? She let you do a reimbursement. I mean, you can ask that first to say, hey, can we go buy, 5 Chick-fil-A cards and 5 Subway cards, for a specific amount or whatever you want to do, and then you issue them out that way. I know she's told, for me, I know that's pretty much out right now to do it that way, but you're doing something a little different. So maybe she may allow that with you for the SGA cabinet meetings, but
I really like the idea of us. I just like the idea of sending the gift card directly to the student. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's how I've been doing them, and it's a cleaner.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be.
I agree. That just sounds easier.
So Dallas, how much would you? So SGA, how much are you willing to spend?
You said typically you guys would spend like $500 to $700 on like a typical cabinet meeting in normal
Yeah,
times.
the meals are typically somewhere in the neighborhood of $750 per person. That includes the drink and dessert, somewhere along that line. Now that was last year, and I don't know what the prices would be this year because we haven't done anything like that. But yes, we would spend anywhere from $500 to $750.
I will say that the cabinet meeting that we had last semester that was also virtual, we had about like 30 people attend, but most of them were faculty and staff. So I would say like at least 30 people will be present, but
well, I think we can do better this time.
Oh, for sure, especially with putting the gift card out there.
Are we going to offer the gift cards to faculty and staff, Sandy?
Let them eat.
I don't think Tammy would. I'm just saying. I don't think Tammy would allow us to do that. If we're going to offer it to students, I don't think she'll have any problem. But I'm not sure she'd let us do faculty and staff.
Okay, well, let's just say students, but let's say a good number.
But certainly I will ask.
Well, what if we do split the difference? Let's do 650. Up to 650.
Yeah, I think that's a good cap.
Is that at $5 a piece?
No, that's at $10.
Okay. No, it's at $10.
Okay.
So that'd be 65 students, which would be amazing and would be well worth the 650.
I think if it draws students in, it would be a good idea.
All right, Keely, you call for the vote.
I call for the vote on $650 for the SGA meeting.
Yes.
Do we have any names? Well, then I guess I'll call it. So $650?
It's just me.
All right, good deal. Okay, now can we go on to Black History Month, Diedrich and Mary?
Sure.
All right, I know y'all been working on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna Mary is more familiar with the Bond series stuff, and I'm gonna pass that out to her.
Mary, the other thing I wanted you to touch on is the digital wellness, because that was a lot of our conversation last week.
Sandy, can you stop sharing so I can share the Black History Month flyer?
Oh yeah.
And do you have the digital wellness one as well, Sean?
I can pull it up. Yeah. You want the digital wellness one first?
Sure. Yeah, since that one's coming up on
Coming up.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, 1 second. I did not have that one ready. Oh.
Well, when Shalana's trying to get that one up, just so we don't waste time, we had Pete Dunlap here last semester to talk about digital wellness and the use of technology and our mental health, and how in these COVID times that we're stuck at home and we don't really have a lot to do, so we spend our time either on our computers, our phones, or whatever other digital device you have. And he was just talking about ways that we can clean off some of those robotic things that come into our spaces when we're trying to Google something of interest, and then we get all these ads and stuff. He was telling us how to minimize that. And so he will be back on Tuesday at 2 to talk to us more about digital wellness and our mental health. And that's being done through my office and Global Scholars. So we hope that you all will be able to join us. Shalana, I don't see, I mean, it's blank. Is it supposed to be blank now?
Sorry, I'm having problems with my.
Okay, well, just go ahead and put, if you want to put the Black, yeah, okay. If you want to put the Black History Month flyer back up there, then I'll go ahead and go do that. I don't want to waste people's time. So, in terms of Black History Month, we have Dr. McCarty, who is a history professor at NTSU, who will be talking about hidden facts and about Black History Month on February the 10th. On February the 11th, that's you, Dee. You want to talk about that? Who said it? I think you muted, Diedrich.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking. Yeah, I didn't hit my mute. February 11th is the Who Said It. What we'll be doing is kind of like a trivia game. I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and use the Kahoot platform, but we are going to try to use some visuals during the Kahoot, where we show snippets of movies. We show, we are going to try to talk and act some of the stuff out. We may be videoing ourselves as well as saying some different quotes and different phrases from different maybe movies or quotes that famous African Americans have said, and just to have students to use the Kahoot, because it'll be easier to calculate the points and all of that instead of we trying to do it by hand. It may mess up within the amount of time that we need to do it in. So, but it should make
you'll be offering prizes, right, Diedrich?
Yeah, there will be prizes. The prizes for that will be 25, 15, and 10. We have $25 gift card, $15 gift card, and a $10 gift card. We'll just give first, second, and third place for that event.
And then on February the 16th through the 18th, we will, it's a film, the Bond Series group is having a film festival. These movies that are listed here, which I can't really read from the flyer, are already showing through our library. And you can go and watch them. And then on those same days, the 16th through the 18th, there's a separate flyer coming out to ask you to join us in a panel discussion. Some of these panel discussions will literally have people who, for instance, Good Trouble, which is a documentary about John Lewis, Representative John Lewis, who just passed away this year. The person who will be a part of our panel discussion is a lady by the name of Betty Mae Fikes, who marched with John Lewis at Selma and sang at his funeral. And so she's going to be one of our panelists. For one of the other movies, the person who actually, and I'm trying, I don't have my flyer up, so I can't read it, and I can't remember which one it is, but the one about the Blacks in science fiction. Yeah, thank you. Let me see which one it is.
Mary, are you talking about Blacking Up, hip hop's remix of Race and Identity?
Well, Blacking Up hip hop, that's going to be Dr. Chris Endo from Columbia University. He's been on our campus several times, and he's really into the hip hop genre, and he will be one of the panelists for that.
He is amazing.
The Boss, which one is about Boss? Maybe I should pull up the flyer myself because I can't. Anyway, we've got several people who will be speaking about being Black and being at the upper echelon in some of these high corporations. So they're going to come on and they're going to speak.
You got something coming from
And then, like I said, one of the people who actually wrote the film, helped produce the film, will be talking to us about that particular film as well. So these should all be really interesting. We asked, and like I said, you can go to the library. They're all out in the library on the library website for you to log in and view, so you're not having to pay for them. And then come and join us for a panel discussion relative to the movie. On February the 24th, we'll have a physician talking about health, Black health and wellness.
Oh, I like that.
And on the 25th, Diedrich, that was yours.
Diedrich, you're muted again.
That is a Painting Black History. There will be a virtual event to where it will be led by Delnita Evans. We will all be in the room. We'll be having this kind of, if you're familiar with the paint and sip type deal that they do around the city, but it will be a virtual event, and we will have everything set up. We'll be in a WebEx room, and we'll have music going. We can, people can just set up their canvases. They should be delivered by that day or on that day, hopefully, to where we can get the canvases out to the students. On this flyer, the time is particularly wrong, but that time is right. Sorry, the time is right. It will happen at 2:00, and like I said, that painting thing we're going to probably stay in the room for at least an hour and just have some form of conversations. We will have, for the paintings that are picked, we will have some. We will talk about some of the things that those people have accomplished of the paintings that people will be painting in the room. So we will have different things like that to speak on while people are painting in the room. So we will have some topics about those different individuals, like Michelle Obama, I know is one that people pick. Prince is one that people pick. So we will just speak on some of those people that paintings were chosen, that people purchased, and we'll have some discussions about those individuals while we're painting as well. So it should be a little interactive, and people have fun, and we'll have some music and stuff like that going too. So with the deadline, yeah, go ahead. The deadline has passed to pay on that, so it was today at 12. So
on the 25th, we're going to try really hard to still have our soul food luncheon. It will be virtual. I've talked to the cafeteria. We don't have all this worked out just yet, and so you'll hear more information about that. The ideal right now is that we have some type of box lunch, and then you come and join us in a virtual room, and we have some discussion and music, and we just kind of eat together that day. The theme is Chucks and Pearls, and so we look forward to everybody putting on their Chucks and their pearls to have lunch with us that day. The other thing that I'd like to say is that the theme for Black History Month, if you, Shalon, can you take that? Yeah. So you see up there where it says 2021. That gives you the theme for the month. And that theme is chosen by the National Association of African American Historians, who put together, they put out a theme every year, and this is the theme for this year. So this flyer has come out, and I hope you all, as students, did receive it. If you didn't receive it in email, please let us know so that we can resend it. Also, yesterday we sent out a tribute to C.C. Bond. Many of you may not know this, but the Humanities Building is named after an African-American educator and activist, C.C. Bond. And so we put out a tribute to him yesterday. So hopefully you guys also got that, so you can learn a little bit more about Dr. Bond. Back to you, Sandy.
Sandy, you're muted.
Deidre, why don't you tell us about talent show, because Deidre pulled off the event of the year just by getting everybody to go along with having somewhat of a virtual, somewhat of an in-person talent show. So, Dee, talk about that a minute.
Okay.
I know that Emily Dunlap wants to be involved.
Oh, she does?
Oh, no.
But yeah, so like I said, I had a long discussion this morning, and we were just talking about plans on how to do this event. I feel like last year it would have been a great event to kind of keep our students motivated and give them a platform to just kind of express themselves and do some things they haven't really had the chance to do, especially during the atmosphere we're in right now. But needless to say, like I said, I think we have several people on board to kind of help out with this event, so it will be able to happen. But it's going to be right now. We do not have a streaming date, the date that is going to stream, because it's kind of hard to do depending on the availability of the Humanities Building. Being that, because right now the building is closed down, I think, because they had a COVID situation. Is my mic clear? It's not clear.
It sounds like you're in a fish tank.
What about? Am I still in the tank?
You were, yeah.
Am I still in the tank now?
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix it.
Oh.
Hold on a second. What about now?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I took it off speaker. All right, good. So, I forgot. This, what was I talking? So I guess we would, like I said, I guess where I left off at is we were trying to find out how we could do it, and like right now, we cannot give a clear streaming date. So, so the flyer right now just say, stream live, air date to be determined. So that's how it's going to come out. But we will have people auditioning the first week of March, and the deadline to present, a deadline to RSVP to sign up for auditions will be February the 24th. But what it'll end up being is it's probably be similar to, like I said, I guess in our meeting, kind of similar to Survivor, where all of the acts will be pre-recorded, and then, like on the last day when they announce the winner of Survivor, it kind of turns into a live event. So that's basically how we're going to do it. So all the acts will be pre-recorded pretty much the week of March 15th through the 19th. And then we will work on the editing and all that the next week, which is the 22nd through the 26th of March. And then we will probably air this thing on maybe April 1st, I'm thinking, which will be the next Thursday, April Fool's Day. We may air it on April Fool's Day. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we may do it on that day. But if we can get things done by the 25th is the day that we want to do it. That's the day that we had on our calendar, was March the 25th. So if we could do that on that day, then we'll do that day. But it all depends on how many days, or if the humanities building has to be shut down due to a COVID case or a student, coming in that area, and they have to shut down the area. So we're giving kind of like 2 weeks to film the whole thing, and then we will have, the one live day to present the winner. I think it's going to be pretty good. Like I said, I think Chris Willis, his crew, and his students would like to be involved in that, from speaking to him yesterday. And then Bruce and his crew with the technology, media technology, they will be involved in it too, as well as Pam Trainer, her group that's in the humanities building. So it should make for a good thing. Should make for, we'll have about anywhere from 12 to 14 performers. On that day, we'll try to get everything done within an hour, or right at an hour to do that. I think that's pretty much all I have on that, on the talent show right now.
Sandy, you're muted.
I thought we'd save leadership retreat for the next time, so we could get on to some other things that we have to do. But you guys, in the next week, be thinking about leadership retreat. SGA usually pays for leadership retreat, and Emily, I know you and I have had some ideas, or not, we just had some conversation about what leadership means and those kind of things, and what we need our students coming back next year. One of my real concerns is that we don't have enough students that are first-time freshmen involved this year yet. And it's going to make it really, really difficult. Are any of you guys going to be here next year? Yay, Xenia. Well, what about Lisa? I know Keely's not going to be.
Xenia, bless you.
Yeah. It's good that I know that, isn't it?
I wish that you weren't going to be here next year, Xenia.
That's not true. Not true. Now, in the regular year, we do all kinds of cool things for leadership, but one thing we know is that after this area of history, after this episode of history or segment, our leadership is going to change. it won't be like it was before. And I think we've got to look at what we're going to include in a retreat. Ooh, I saw that, Xenia. But I also think that it's going to be an exciting time. It's some time for us to rethink leadership a little bit and maybe do some things that are really out of the box. And I don't know what that looks like, because what I'm depending on is the minds that are here and the minds that we are going to gather along this way this year to help us get there. Because it is going to take, higher ed is a different area now. It's going to be, we have so many students that are struggling this time, and we have so many needs that we're going to have to address. And it's not going to be, might be painful, but it's student needs, it's student, it should be student led. So that's what I'm saying to you. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I think it's, Zig Ziglar and some of the things we've done in the past are in the past. There's always good things that come from the past, but our school is saying that we are taking, what's it called now? What's our leadership? A truly human leadership projection. And so how we get there and how that really looks, you guys have the opportunity to help inform that for the students, and I'm excited about it. So, Deidre, we'll get back with you soon on that. You are welcome to stay, but I want to get into some of these initiatives and see what we can do. Deidre, you don't have to go away mad.
He's muted again.
I'm not mad. I'm a hate. I'm a miss it, but I got to get this stuff to Christy so we can purchase these canvases for the Black History.
That's all right, because we're gonna be having our ass for you to help us too. So
yeah, just hit me back, man. I appreciate. I'll work with you guys. Thank y'all for inviting me to the meeting. Y'all have a good day.
Okay. Okay. And I don't know how we want to get this to where we need to really look at some of these, and I had, let me just share the screen again. Are you seeing it yet?
Sure. Translate into which
What I'm talking about is these, this part right here, the summary of initiatives. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
I don't want everybody's mic on because you guys are going to have to talk.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So how do we... Here's the things that I think we need to know. We need to know why some of these and how and who will lead. I also want us to start identifying people on campus like Chris Likens or Chris Willis who have some of these answers for us or could help us with these. So one of the first things we talked about was student engagement, and that came from even last semester. We had a lot of things that we talked about there, and Keisha did some of that. Do we know what happened to Keisha? Salon, is she around still?
I'm not sure. She hasn't sent me any emails from what I've sent her. So
yeah, I've tried to connect with her too, and I haven't been, but I'll keep trying. But student engagement, and the YouTube, the coffee talk, social media, all of these things go along with a lot of these things, but I really like the TikTok that Keely did, and I'm wondering where Lisa is. Has she got a class at this time?
She had a friend to pass, so she's...
That's right, I need that. I'm sorry about that. All right, so as we talk about these, I think about them and I get really excited, but I'm thinking, all of these things are so important. What do we tackle first? How do we get this done? And who wants to kind of lead that charge?
That was one of the things that I was trying to articulate but didn't do very well at the beginning of the meeting was I was wondering if all the people who, when we break off from these sections, if we wanted to meet on the 19th, just the students who are working on the projects or the faculty that are involved as well, and see where we're at on getting these up to date and ready to present for possibly the meeting on the 3rd. Is that something you all are interested in?
I'm checking my calendar now.
Okay, because I'm pretty good on social media, so I would be glad to help out with that one.
You want to facilitate that day, Keely?
Keely, you're amazing on it. Your TikTok was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. On the 19th or the 3rd, because Xenia's doing the 3rd, right?
Yeah, I can do the 3rd.
Okay. I'm fine with facilitating on the 19th if you would like.
Okay, here's what. Whoops, am I muted?
No, you're not
Nope.
this time.
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking is if you guys, I think that can't be the first time we start on this.
No.
It should be a wrap-up day and a day to get the kinks worked out and figured out what we still need to do and who can still help or what. But it would be really nice to see some examples of each of this. Maybe the TikTok, maybe the student engagement piece. Maybe we have one of the divisions already have a coffee clutch, or we've already start that, just to see how that's going to go. We talked about a room where you guys could have open to share, right? Mm-hmm. What do they call the chat room? Yeah, that's what it is. So if we had a chat room ready, and maybe that before that we've had a couple of days of it to see if people use it and kind of push their way to it. I guess what I'm thinking is if we hurry up now and we start driving this momentum, that by that day, you guys can have these projects with enough stuff to really share at Student Cabinet.
That sounds great to me because that's what I meant by I didn't want to lose the momentum, like Emily said. I think we've got something going now, so let's run with it. What does it look like for you all? Like, how would Xenia go about doing the coffee talk? YouTube, right? Because would that be through the media department? And would I contact Chris for the TikToks and Facebook? And what do we?
I think let's list everything out that we really think needs to go in there, and then let's see who. And I really, one of the things I do know is who can do what here. Okay. So I'll help you do that. But let's look at. We know we want to have a TikTok ready, right?
Yes.
And the TikTok, we got two things that I can think of. Is first, your TikTok was about the learning labs, the writing lab. What was it about? Writing lab. Mm-hmm. And that's a great one. But another one could be how to help each other be engaged in class. Because I tell you what, those are the things, the writing lab and the engagement. We had some different ideas that could be presented funny. So engagement in class, maybe if we could do something like that. And the TikTok you've already got, what do you think?
I think that would be really good. But I'm curious about how, from a student perspective, engagement in class would be, because a lot of times our cameras have to be off and
yeah, we had Tasia doing all of those things. Those are so good. Let me see if I can get Tasia to pull up her stuff again, if I can get a hold of her.
Okay, because I think that would be great. Are you talking about strategies about how to pay attention in class or get motivated for class?
When we started this last semester, it was like, and I think it was Tasia and Edward, and a lot of them were in there, and they started talking about how they felt like their classes were going away, like the people in their classes. Emily, you were in there, right? You know, the people that were in class were no longer there, and what happened to them, and how do we keep them involved and engaged?
Okay, I understand now. I think I've got an idea that helped me process it. So basically what Tasia and I and I just went blank on his name, but Alex, we made up study groups on Teams, and I'd be glad to do a TikTok on how to do that so that you can connect with fellow students to study.
See, that is perfect. And if we could use, I think Tasia gave such a good heartfelt reason why.
She did, and it's true. It helped me get through biology and chemistry, so having study groups.
Do you think you could reach out to her? Maybe she'll listen to you.
Sure.
Okay, see if we can get Tasia back. So maybe study groups and something else, whatever you guys want to do. But I'm just thinking, I'm also looking for the things that will appeal to students. And in the long run, here's my thought pattern. Larry, are you still on here? I want to be sure I don't say anything I shouldn't say. If just kidding. Okay, I'll behave. All right. One of the things that I think that we are going to be able to do is I think we are going to get that money for those stipends. And so what I see, and you guys' ideas made me see this, and if I'm wrong in what I'm hearing from you, then let me know. But I have a feeling that maybe we would have 10, I would really wanted 15, I said 10 of these navigators or students to act in different ways. One might be an engagement specialist for helping teachers and students stay engaged in the classroom. So they could go to the different divisions and do just that. Another one might be that we have these coffee clutches or these open forum chat rooms where students could come in at different times, could talk about the blockades they're having, their hopes, their dreams, whatever they wanted to talk about. But we know, I can sit down here and talk to you guys, and you guys have already will tell me some sort of obstacle you've had getting here. That is crucial to this college because we've got to make our enrollment and registration, financial aid, all of that smoother. So, one of the things that we might have is one of these specialists involved in just that. And maybe we would have somebody on call so many hours a day just to help students with technology, a technology specialist, a registration, the student PAL for this. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but I feel like you guys can help us get there. Somebody that is constantly looking at social media and posting to it, looking at Facebook and what students are needing, and then going back and making the effective and appropriate pertinent post. Just all of these things that we ask y'all to do a number of times. We're going to be deliberate in having somebody that is ready to go and trained to do just those things. Does that make sense?
It does. I just want to add one, because I know that it is an issue. If we can, and I don't know if Chat State already has it, but I was recently diagnosed with ADHD not too long ago. Do we have a liaison between disability services just to push students over there, or if students have a question, just to give them the contact information or who to go to?
That could be one of these positions.
Okay.
You will see our disabilities department growing tremendously in the next
because of where we are
semester.
Yeah.
Because of fabulous to hear.
Yeah.
There are some things out there that are cutting edge that Christy's put out. She makes me go to meetings every week with grant people and everything else because she's got such a passion. And I think you'll see some things happening that you won't believe. And I would love that we had somebody that would help push that out to students. Okay? All right, see, now you guys know I don't have this money or anything yet, but I'm just.
That I will do for free. Like I won't even charge you. I do that for free.
You know, it's funny because we have so many people who suffer so much and will not take advantage of those services.
Yes.
And so, you know, I like what you guys give us. You guys give us the opportunity to really, we ask for the student voice all the time, but I'm not so sure we give you what you need to really have your voice heard. And that's what I would like to be able to do. That's my job, is I'm just a connector person. Right, Salon?
Yes.
So as you're looking it through there, what else stands out to you? Is anybody really excited about doing the coffee clutches with the divisions?
I like talking to people, so I'm kind of excited to do it. So, and like I'm most excited to do it right now because we don't have any connections, and so any interaction that I have with people to talk to them, I'm good. So I'm excited about that. I also want to say that, like, I know that there's a lot of I'm sorry, somebody has a lot of feedback, and
maybe it's me. Let me turn mine off.
Yeah, it was you, Sandy. But like, just one person, like, being able to do it, I think it would be really cool. Like, I know Keely, she's like a whiz at TikTok and all things social media, but even giving her like a schedule or some people to help her so she's not like always doing it, or, you know, kind of recruiting people, recruiting freshmen that are already on their Facebook pages and everything, for Keely to for training them, like for a changing of the guard, because she will be leaving one day. And so maybe scheduling people, like, so that, you know, this is your time that you post constantly, and just having a place for the contact information, for the content to be, and these are the things that you have to post or whatever. I don't know if that is how you guys did it. Like I said, I hate to overstep my newness, but I just, you know, I look at these things a little differently about like how not to like hunker somebody down. That's all I want to say.
Get over that newness. Go ahead and speak up.
Yeah, no, I definitely have the same concerns, Lydia. Like, I get it, because I'm super interested in like the student chat rooms, giving like students a place to go to other students that can kind of direct them in the right direction. Because I think, especially when I was younger, reaching out to professors was really scary, or like admin in any way. But I'm only here through the summer.
Right.
So like, we would definitely need to recruit people to keep this going, because obviously it's going to be a minute before things go back to any semblance of normal.
Right.
But you guys being as fired up as you are and as passionate as you are right now, that's what we need why we need to do this now. Because there's a lot of work that will take hold right now. Some of it might see more benefit in the next fall. Who knows? But no, it's not going away for a while.
Well, one thing I'm curious about is, would we need a brief, concise information session to teach us all the resources and who to contact, and push people towards for help, or not push, but guide. Because there are so many resources on campus, but it's so spread out that I'm not even certain I'm aware of what all's out there or who they should contact. And I think it's important that all the student helpers are aware of that, like student liaisons and navigators.
I think that's a great idea. And I think until we can get there and figure out who's going to be on board, and I guess I see that first happening when we get the stipends and get positions. But for right now, if you will just tell me what you need, I'll help you figure it out. We'll find those people. You know, for example, we had an incident, and I probably told you all this about freedom's rights to freedom of speech and expression. We had an incident here, and of course we probably have lots of incidents, but it got to my recognition, and so I had to do something about it. So I had to, because the faculty member was truly acting out of our policies, because we don't have to value it, we value it, because this is a marketplace for ideas. If we shut everybody down, we're not going anywhere. So I had to go back and talk to faculty members and the faculty senate and put our policies out there so they would know that if they react outside of those policies, they're in jeopardy of being, I don't think they would ever get fired. Well, if it was bad enough, they could get fired. But at the same time, they need to know their policies and procedures. But at the same time, when I was out there talking, in the chat, there is a group that Media Services has used. It was just a sit-down conversation between them about students' rights and expressions. Mm-hmm. How great that was, because now a faculty member can take that back and can play it, can learn from it, can play it into her classes. So, so those are the kind of things that I'm thinking. But the other thing is mental health too. You all have all said we have some areas, and I think it came out this week in something I saw that said 63% of our students across the country in higher ed have been bothered by mental health issues already. And so I can see that people that want to take on mental health issues to work with Emily Dunlap and Belinda Smith and Doug Bird in our counseling center, and even our TVR program. There's almost kinds of resources in TVR. So that's kind of, where I am. So you guys just hit me up and ask me who would be available to help you, and I'll connect that person with you.
Okay.
That sounds great.
I love it.
So do you want us to just go ahead and get started? Does everybody want to just go ahead and get started on their pieces of the project that we've already agreed to and start working on that? Send it to Sandy and Emily and anybody else who might be able to get us to the right resources, I guess.
I think let's start, and then let's have a couple of checkups this next week and see where we are.
Okay.
Emily, you talked about the rooms with faculty, right? The chat rooms, the coffee clutches.
That was not me, but not something I'm opposed to. I thought
that was you. Okay, well, I want us to set up one and just try it.
Yeah, I was thinking about contacting, I'm sure Dr. Norell would be willing to do it with me if I asked. And she's a character.
Perfect. And you know what? Dr. Norell would be a great start. Maybe you could do something with criminal justice or social justice or civility in the government. Oh my gosh. There's so many things you can do.
That's great.
And so you can pick your own title and then ask her to find somebody else that she thinks is an expert in that place, and then we can start gathering students. My whole thing Monday is just start trying to find y'all some chat rooms that you can have. Oh, by the way, Amanda Bennett said that you could use her chat room anytime we want. So that's a place we already have to go. But I'd like for you to have your own.
Yeah, Zinnia, did you say you were interested in the coffee chats? I think that was you.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, you'll probably be better at it than me. I think you're a little bit more personable, a little quiet.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll try, but I'm down for anything. I do need some clarity with the facilitation that I volunteered for on 3-3. What exact? So Miss Knapp is going to get with me and give me instructions on what I need to do.
That's just a speaking part. It's just to keep things moving.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of a moderator. There's an agenda. You'll help set the agenda.
Okay.
And just to keep, just like that meeting today, just to keep it flowing and moving so we get finished in time.
Okay.
And the main thing that I'll be worried about on that day is because there'll be a lot of things tugging at us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got to really be expedient with whatever we do in the front end because we want time for your projects.
Okay. Got it.
We'll work really closely together, Xenia.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I am interested in the coffee talk.
Emily and Xenia, if y'all want to, you guys could also do what you're doing and then also find somebody to do a chat room with you. Use Liz Norell's chat room if you wanted to do Liz. And find a couple of people that, if anybody wanted to use Liz or, another person that's pretty amazing is Bill Taylor.
Yeah, I was just thinking him.
You might do a whole, what does this world look like now in the realm of social justice? What do you see happening? Those kind of things with them.
And he loves talking about democracy, so.
Who, Bill?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you do it on democracy and then you guys can get his class. His class will participate. They will.
Do these professors have any clemency or anything, like if they're giving their opinions on things? Because it may be...
with freedom of speech and freedom of expression, we are allowed to speak clearly and freely, but we cannot try to change your mind or persuade you in a certain race. Like if I'm a Southern Baptist, I can tell you all about my Southern Baptist life, but I cannot try to proselyte you.
Okay. I should hope not. Okay.
One thing I would love to see, and just a subject that might be something worthwhile, is the area that we live in is maybe understanding the nuances of misinformation on digital media. That might be a good subject too.
See, these are amazing. All of these are amazing, and all of this is student engagement.
I think it would help a lot of people's mental health personally, because that's been one of the hardest parts for me is all the misinformation you see out there.
Keely,
and how to know what's real.
I want you guys really to dream up some of these things and just think about this, and then we can put them together. I don't think it's going to take us long.
I don't think so.
So,
we're full of ideals.
I think about, there's so many, there's so much bigotry in the world right now. And,
oh, they do.
The pronouns, there's so much misunderstanding. I'm thinking that we've got to start tackling some of these things. We are afraid of things that we do not know about. It's so we've really got to have good conversation. I was at a place the other night, and I won't say too much about this, but I was at a place the other night where I was probably the only person that I believe like I believe, and I'm not going to say what that is. But there was somebody stood up and said, well, and it was in a church thing, and they said, well, I just think I'm supposed to always state my mind, or always stand for who I am and stand this. And I thought, my thing is, we better all start listening to each other.
Exactly.
And really learning about each other and trying to understand each other, or we're not going anywhere. So, I mean, that's kind of where the bandwagon I'm on. But you know, there's all kinds. This is the greatest time in the world to be young and passionate and make a stance and be advocates. You know, I think the 70s were kind of like now. You know, we could say what we thought, and sometimes it was just cool to say what you thought, even if we really didn't know exactly what you thought. But you had to work together to figure out where you were going with it. It's a nice place to be, I think.
And I actually agree. And I know that sometimes, especially in the South and in the Bible Belt, and especially in, you know, around here in Appalachia, like young people need to, they need to be nurtured into being okay with giving someone their freedom for what they believe. Like, it's okay if you don't put anybody's belief, your belief, on somebody else. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're going to hell. It just means that you're letting people, you know, be free, because that's the thing. I know when I was young growing up, you know, I was told that if I didn't save the world, then, you know, I was going to hell. But in later in life, like, those, is so much pressure on them, because people have their beliefs, and people believe in what they believe, and it doesn't mean that you can't be somebody's friend because they don't believe what you believe, and it doesn't mean that you can't respect them. And I think our kids they have so much stress in having to do that, and having to, you know, because they're seeing the older adults, you know, just throw their beliefs on everybody. And it's okay if we all just live together. And I know, like, what I believe, and my word of God says, come let us reason together. It didn't say, come let us make everybody a Christian, or come let us make everybody, you know, another belief, or Islamic, or whatever. It's just, come let us reason together. And so I think we need to tell our kids, when I say kids, I mean y'all, I'm sorry, I'm old. But when I think we need to tell our babies that it's okay if you just be okay with who you are. That's okay.
You know what? And you don't have to judge the world.
No.
Just live and let be.
Just being a person.
Yes.
You can be a human being and not always a human doing. A human being is fine. You can just be. That's okay. Yeah.
I love that, Zinnia.
Thank you, Keely.
You know, it's really interesting because I listen to my mom, who's 86, and she and I are, you know, on different parts of the spectrum as far as, no, we're not really, but how we do things is a little bit different. But last night she was talking about things that I felt like she would be the most judgmental person, but no, she was just open, and I thought, what happened to you? So anyway, but yeah, it is nice not to have to be the judge and the jury all the time. And so, and I do feel like we're all walking on eggshells around people that we don't know, and even those that we do know. So, but anyway, what else do we need to talk about today?
Sandy, I have a coffee request on the agenda. Did you want to talk about that today?
Yeah, and I told engineering.
You said Savita on the phone yesterday?
Savita. I talked to her before this, and she has a coffee request she wants to do, and I'm not sure if she wants $525 or $25. But I told her to get a hold of y'all when she when she writes it up, and then we will share it. We can send it around email-wise. But this group, and I just was so excited to get to this part that I kind of let that go on. I'm really sorry, but what you guys will have to do too is decide how money's been spent. And so before we send that around, we can say how much is still in our budget, how much we spent, because we really haven't spent much. Nobody's really asked for anything hardly, have they?
No, the only thing that SGA has approved, and I'm not in the office today, but the only thing that I can recall that they've approved is the movie screen. And I think that's it.
Right.
I will have to go into the budget and see. I don't think there's been anything else other than that.
Hey, and Mary, did we get that yet?
Nope.
What happened? I know we were waiting one time for it because they were out of them.
Right. And I'm gonna put through. I think we're gonna put it through on the visa request as opposed to a requisition.
Okay. Okay, well, you guys, I don't want to keep you a lot longer, but I do, I'll be open for check-in around maybe from 12 to 2 on Wednesday or something. And, talk to your friends, about some of the things we're doing and see if they'd like to be involved. And also, does Lisa talk to anybody? Emily, are you still here? She's probably had to go, but.
I talked to Lisa.
Okay. Well, if you guys would just talk to her, and I think that you guys got such a good handle on these things, and you know what we need, that whatever you want to do, let's just talk about it, and then we'll see. And Emily can help with that, and Mary, and help find people that can help us get this done. Does that sound like a good idea?
I've already been talking to people and trying to get people to help because I know that this is going to be a big project. So,
well, I think that the more people get involved, the more we'll have them ready to do other things as well. And try to mention that we need new students and students that are going to be here for a while too. Although you guys are amazing trailblazers, we need somebody else to come along the trail.
Right.
So.
I've been looking at for leadership already in Cadre. I've been trying to pinpoint some people. So
good.
And I'll just pitch this out here. It's Emily, the other Emily. I am always, if anybody wants to come into my big classes and just like, hey, this is what we do, here's who we are, and join us and give some contact, please let me know. I teach at 9 and 10 back to back. We could figure something out. I can add you to my teams for that day or whatnot. But I think students, seeing other students getting excited is really the way to do it. So think about that. I know Zinnia is going to come in at some point, but even if there was like a little video clip.
Yeah, I'm actually coming next week.
Yes. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 9 o'clock is one class and 10 o'clock's the other. And even if, like I said, if you make like a little video, hey, and you want me to embed that in my news feeds, I will. And I'll send it to my online classes. So whatever y'all need. And I'll also send it to my, we have 400 psych students, and it's a gateway class. So I think we can get in touch with people.
Do we have any freshmen in these classes?
I'm still a freshman, actually.
Right. I hope you're a freshman for years. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Yeah, I have a lot of freshmen.
Hey, now y'all laugh at me, but I kept somebody in school here for like 6 years, but now they're a college president. So, who knew? We do have, we really do like to keep people, but we also like to see you walk across the stage and go to bigger and better things. And hopefully, Zinnia and all of you, this time in life is not going to last forever. And by next year, we'll have some really good opportunities for you.
Oh, like I said, this information and doing stuff like this, I'll do this for free. This is my wheelhouse.
That is so wonderful to hear. Mary, I heard you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to jump off. I have another meeting.
All right. So I know you guys do too. So just keep me posted. And when you see something you need to, if you want something streamed, I don't know how to stream, but I'll find somebody that can do it. And we'll go from there. How about that?
That's great.
Remember that Amanda said we could use her room. I'm going to work on seeing if I can't get some rooms. What do you think about that? If we had a student room that we just used for these things?
100%. Love it. And I also want, you all to come in and talk to this other. I'm working on I should have mentioned this earlier, but I'm working on another initiative with TBR Gateway classes. These are classes, as we've been talking about. I would love for you all to come in at some point and educate the faculty in these classes about what we need to be having,